Greetings, this is Spec Ops 56 and my faithful Indian companion, booze hound, and all-around good guy John, coming to you with Spirits Review special. It's our Bourbon versus Bourbon special. We are pitting the Bluff, the Total Wine Spirits Direct Bluff Springs Straight Bourbon against the Buffalo Trace Straight Bourbon. And here's the story behind this before I get into the details of the bourbons. I was back in, I think it was 2023. Yeah, 2023. I was trying to find some Buffalo Trace for us to review, and nobody in South Carolina carries it. It's one of those allocated things, and they just don't allocate it here apparently. I had gone to Total Wine to look for it, see if they could order it for me or something, but they couldn't. And so I asked the guy, well, which one of your Spirits Direct bourbons is the closest thing to the flavor profile of the Buffalo Trace? And this is the one that he recommended, the Bluff Springs. So I finally was able to get a bottle of Buffalo Trace from a friend in North Carolina where they do have it. And so I decided that we would pit them against each other and find out whether or not this is close enough to Buffalo Trace, if it might be as good as Buffalo Trace or not. To do this, we're going to do this blind. My wife, the world famous Invisible Woman, who you never get to see because she's invisible, I had her pour the each one into a different glass and write the information on here as to which glass holds which one, which we are not going to look at. I'll put it right under there. And what we're going to do is we're going to review each one separately, and then we're going to decide on, how much they may or may not taste like each other. And then we're going to decide on a winner of which one we think is the best, and then I'll unveil which one was which and which one is the winner. So that's how we're doing this. So until then, let me go through this like I usually do and give you the information I could find on these two different bourbons. First, we go to Bluff Springs. Total Wine Spirits Direct. I purchased it on 12/14/2023, so almost a year ago. I paid $24.99 for it. And actually, $24.99 was the regular price. I paid $23.94, and the regular price is still $24.99. Here's what it says. It's made in Kentucky. A classic mash bill of 70% corn, 20% rye, and 10% malt make this an elemental bourbon, whatever that means. Old enough to be smooth and fragrant, but young enough to remind you where it comes from. Fresh, oily corn with lots of oak and wood notes. Big and feisty with a hint of sweetness. The tasting notes they have are rich, spice, vanilla, and long. ABV is 45%. And then we have now the Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon. I purchased this on 2/17/24. The price in North Carolina at that time that I paid for it was $42. Now, if you happen to be in Indiana, the Total Wine in Indiana carries it for $35.99. And that's probably, so if you happen to be in Indiana, there you go. The ancient buffalo carved paths through the wilderness that led American pioneers and explorers to new frontiers. One such trail led to the banks of the Kentucky River, where Buffalo Trace Distillery has been making bourbon whiskey the same way for more than 200 years. In tribute to the mighty buffalo and the rugged independent spirit of the pioneers who followed them, we created signature Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It says the tasting notes are: this deep amber whiskey has a complex aroma of vanilla, mint, and molasses. Pleasantly sweet to the taste with notes of brown sugar and spice that give way to oak, toffee, dark fruit, and anise. This whiskey finishes long and smooth with serious depth, and the ABV on this one is also 45%. So that's all there is to that. So, hold them up. And the color looks exactly the same.
I got it.
All right. Well, come on around. We'll start with this one.
All right.
Yeah, we got a lot of bourbon scent going on here.
Well, I'll tell you.
See if I can keep it off my nose. I'm getting only a very, very light tingle in the nose. Not much at all. Barely there.
I'm getting oak.
I'm getting a little bit of oak and something else. I'm getting another note that I'm not sure what it is. It might be the corn.
I think so.
Okay. Well, we're going to go all the way through this one.
All the way through.
Then we go to the next one. Whoa.
Sweetness.
Burn.
Yeah.
Lots of burn right up front.
Not
Wow.
bad.
Then I get the sweetness.
Not bad.
And I'm thinking I get the corn, but I'm not positive. It's a sweetness.
This one's kind of smooth.
I don't know about that. It's pretty.
It's stout.
That first one was some serious burn.
Not bad. I've had enough of that. Let's wash that down.
Well, we are going to try it with ice, you know.
Okay.
I still get burn, but I do get sweetness. I get oak. I can't tell if I'm getting corn or caramel. I'm not sure. It's almost like a combination, but it's.
Rye. I taste the rye.
I don't know if it has any rye in it.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
Somebody's got rye in it.
Yeah, hang on. See what the tasting notes are. Or it could be the anise. But either way, it could be some. I do get a spiciness. I mean, not all of the burn is alcohol burn.
Right.
There is a spiciness at the end. So on this one, I'm getting burn, alcohol burn, followed by sweetness,
Corn.
followed by, it's either corn or caramel or a mix note. I think I get a little of the oak on the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I get a spiciness in the burn. So it could either be rye or it could be anise.
I didn't taste the rye until I put ice in it.
Well, you got ahead of me.
Well, only a step.
I tell you.
I'll hold up.
Okay. What am I going to do with this guy? Yeah, this hopefully will tame the burn. You didn't seem to get much burn.
No, I didn't.
That's amazing because I got a pretty high percentage of burn.
I got a
right
burn,
off the bat.
but it wasn't bad.
I got. Obviously, I'm more sensitive to the alcohol burn than you are.
Yeah.
That did tame the burn. Still a little bit there on the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I taste the corn more.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else about like it was. It's just
You didn't get
the
any.
the corn seems to, the flavor seems to be enhanced by the ice. So, well, let's do this. We're gonna rate this in a minute.
All right.
Actually, we're gonna hold off.
Okay.
Because I might want to try it a little again to make sure I know what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but maybe a little bit more of this. Still got a little bit of the flavor on my tongue from that one. I don't want to contaminate it. The other one. I really am interested to find out which one is going to be which.
I know.
Because like I said, they look exactly
The
alike.
same. I keep looking at the color.
All right. Now, before we do that, we'll go ahead and rate this. I gotta taste it one more time. How would you rate this one? Two neutral thumbs.
Yep. No, two.
Two?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry. Excuse me. Two of them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
big difference.
I had a cramp.
Two thumbs.
I like it. It's the flavors are there. But I didn't catch the rye until I put ice in it.
I'm still not sure if that's rye, but I give it 1.
Okay.
The burn was a little bit much for my liking,
Mm-hmm.
although the ice did tame it down, but that first sip was just burn all the way
Wow.
for me. So,
Okay.
so I give it 1.
All right.
All right, let's
Do the.
hang on a second.
All right.
I gotta wash out that last sip I did.
It's still hanging in there.
Okay, now we're gonna try this one. Let's see how it smells. I don't have the tingle on the nose that I had with the other one.
Not at all.
I smell sweetness and oak.
Same.
Let's give it a try.
Ooh, I got more burn than I did the last one.
I got the exact opposite.
Wow.
I didn't even start getting the burn until I started swallowing it.
I got
You
the
know,
burn right off.
I didn't. I got sweetness and oak
I got
right
both
off
of
the
those.
bat. The burn that I got at the end, I would say, is about a third of what I got in the other one.
Wow. I'm getting the burn right off. That's weird.
I was just going to say that is very weird.
Both the bourbons.
And they're both 45 ABV.
Yeah.
45% ABV. So
And the taste is so.
I get a little more burn on the end on the second sip. So far, all I'm getting in the taste is slight sweetness in the oak.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't taste any rye. Not like that one.
I still get some burn at the end.
I do too.
Let's see
Try some ice.
what some ice will do for it.
Alright.
See if it'll bring out more flavors. Because right now the only flavors I got was the oak.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of sweetness in the oak. Wasn't getting anything like corn or rye. Could be part of the burn that I'm getting. Because the aftertaste I've got in my mouth kind of tastes like rye.
Yep.
That good, huh?
I'm getting a burn near the end, and I do taste rye. I'm getting a little oak, a tad bit of sweetness.
Yeah,
I can't pull anything else out.
the sweetness is not as sweet as what I got in this
Right,
one.
I agree.
The burn is much less in this one for me. The oak is more prominent. The oak flavor is more prominent on my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. I think there's some rye. The sweetness in this is not as much as the sweetness in that one.
True.
So, all right. So, how do you rate that one? Remember, you're not comparing it to the other one yet. Just this one by itself.
1.5.
I give it 1.
Okay.
Okay. If the burn was less, I could have given it more.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, to compare the two. And we may want to try them again, another taste before we make our final judgment on which one wins.
Mm-hmm.
They are similar. I will say that they are very similar in overall taste.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a little bit more flavors that I can pick out than this one.
True.
This one has a lot more burn than this one.
Just the opposite for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it one more time.
Yeah, I think I will too.
The sweetness is still there. The oak. And I get the burn up front.
A lot less burn than since the ice has melted in it. But I get essentially the same flavors I got before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the oak, the either corn or caramel, whichever one it is, and the rye.
I'm getting a rye in that one. Let's see if it's stronger in this one.
Less burn, but the taste is the same.
I get the sweetness, the rye.
The sweetness I get is a very, very light sweetness. It's not very sweet.
I might have to stick with this one.
And I do get the rye.
Yep.
Yeah, between the two of them, I like the fact that this one has less burn, but this one has more flavor.
Yeah.
So based on that, I'm going to have to give this one the win.
I will too.
Okay. Now,
We're going to find out what they are.
yes. Wow.
Okay.
You're ready. This is gonna be the this is gonna be the biggest upset since that Mike Tyson fight, so-called fight. This is the Buffalo Springs,
I'll be darned.
and this is the Buffalo Trace. The Bluff Springs, not Buffalo Springs.
Well,
The Bluff, Bluff Springs is the
Yeah.
winner.
I'll be darned.
I didn't expect that.
That was good.
You know, the guy was right that the flavor profiles are similar,
Mm-hmm.
but this one is better.
Yeah.
This one has, to us anyway, okay,
Yeah.
to you may be different, but to us, the flavor profile that we got out of this one is much better than the one out of this one, even though they're a little bit similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have the same slight sweetness and rye flavor. But this one has a little more sweetness,
Mm-hmm.
and it has the other flavors that we got besides the rye.
Yeah.
For me, the burn in this one was a whole lot more than the burn in this one. And for you, it was opposite.
It was just the opposite.
So,
There you have it.
is the Buffalo Trace worth tracking down? For me, no. I had to go to some trouble to get this, and honestly, it's not better than this.
No, it's not.
You know, this turned out to be better. The guy was right. Except he said that it was as good as Buffalo Trace, and I say it's better than Buffalo Trace.
Mm-hmm.
So this just shows that just because something is highly touted and made artificially rare and hard to get,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean it's better than something cheaper and much more available. And it doesn't have the big name.
No. And
Okay.
it's good.
I mean, this is just another example of what we have been finding through all these different spirits reviews that we have done, and that the big name and the expensive one and the one that everybody else reviews as the greatest thing with 400 different tasting notes and is not necessarily the best and not necessarily better than something else that's a no name and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
We're finding the opposite in most cases.
Yes, we are.
So I wish my wife hadn't poured quite so much into these, because we're not going to finish this.
Wow.
If we did that, we're not going to be able to make it through the next review.
No, we're not.
Even I, who is, What the heck? They must be scratching on the door. My cats, we had to lock up or shut up in the garage, and I think they're scratching on the garage door wanting to get out.
Yeah.
So anyway, this takes care of the Bourbon versus Bourbon review. The outcome was a surprise. But anyway, till next time, this is Spec 56, and that guy behind the camera, John, saying cheers.